all new hot and techy Brezza, the city-bred SUV.
That is an anticlimax at the Eden Gardens. Almost like Friday night versus Monday night. Friday night there, both teams got 150 in the 12th over and added 100 more in the remainder of their innings. Here the Delhi Capitals have won the toss, batted first, and just about found their way to 153 for 9 with Kuldeep Yadav as their top scorer to thank for it after injecting an impact sub-batter. Things have changed, so let's find out why. On Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL. Who's saying in this last week that they want something in for the bowlers, that it's too much for a batter's game, it's not fun to watch? I would take that 260 game any day over this. Please explain that innings, Irfan Pathan.
First of all, I am still trying to figure out why Delhi chose to bat first. So that's one thing. The second thing, we saw the different pitch. What I felt after watching the pitch and watching the Delhi bat and the way KKR bowled, Gautam was actually really worried about their bowling. He was really worried about. KKR camp was worried about their bowling. So what they did, they made sure the pitch was not playing as good as it was playing so far. So I think there's definitely they wanted to take advantage of that. They have spin as well. And I've been saying this for start of the tournament that I might see that, because Gautam has come in now, the pitch might behave like the pitch used to behave in 2012 and 14 when Sunil Narayan was at his peak. So I think they did try to take advantage to make the pitch slow. And you saw that the pitch was slightly slower on the slower side, not as flat as what we have seen so far. So this is another reason.
Finchy?
Well, it's hard to sum up, really, because it was they still got 60-odd in the power play, and then just all the air went out of the game, and the intent was either trying to hit it for 6 or blocking it. There was no change of game plan where you knock it around for a bit and look to hit it into some pockets, although it's not all that big, but you can still hit into pockets and run hard if you assess that it's not going to be a flat wicket that you can just pump boundaries on. So there was just no real adaptation from the Delhi top order.
Do you sense this is a reaction to the last game? The pitch curator was asked some questions and they were concerned. Irfan's pointed out how the Kolkata camp might have wanted to plan for the remainder of their home games.
Yeah, possibly. I sort of put it more down to this, to me, mirrors a little bit what happened last night with Sunrisers Hyderabad, where there's a set approach, but not an approach that's prepared to make adjustments according to situation, whether that be conditions or whether that be, someone's allowed to bowl a good over. You're allowed to bowl a good over, where we've seen for a number of weeks now, it's like one-way traffic. Stand and deliver, 6 after 6 after 6. But there are, other parts of the game that need to come into play when conditions don't present that way. And there was a little bit there, not a huge amount, but if you lose an early wicket, you're allowed to reset, rebuild and go again. So it just lacked a little bit of, I think, cricket smarts around how to build a competitive total.
The batting first decision looks worse at halftime?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Still can't find reasons why. Will it get even slower? Is that at all possible?
How much will it get slower after 20? What about the due consideration as well? You have to consider that, and then plus the highest score has been chased here as well, and then it's 20 overs after that. Due might come even more, so I don't think so. I doubt.
Do you sense Delhi, who had such a bad start to the season, then won a few games that we thought they wouldn't, beating teams like Chennai and then Lucknow and then Mumbai, and suddenly if they win today, they're second, even though they would have played a few more games, have played like a different team, almost the opposite to RCB, where RCB feel like the season's gone, suddenly they're dangerous. Delhi had nothing to really gain, so they started playing well. Now they're considered contenders for playoffs and they've exploded.
A little bit of that, yeah. It was... The power play was still consistent with how they've looked to play in the last couple of games, though, where they've been all-out attack. But then it was like a team batting for survival almost, rather than like cricket smarts, like Mood said. It just lacked a whole lot of cricket intelligence through that middle part of the innings in particular.
Not a great advertisement generally for the IPL. Catching wasn't of the highest quality either, was it?
Well, we've seen it all season, haven't we? I mean, it's very hard to put your finger on why the fielding has been at such a low level, particularly the catching. Ground fielding's not great, but the catching's been incredibly poor.
Can you put a reason to it as to why we're seeing so many more fairly straightforward catches dropped?
I'm wondering because you have coaches like Jonty Rhodes in the camp of Lucknow Super Giants, and they've been not, catching really well as well. So everything for the players, been given as far as the support system is concerned. You used to argue that, in Mohali, when they used to play, the lights are actually pretty much low. And that's why, it's been difficult to catch them, but you're not playing there anymore. You're playing in a different ground. So there's no excuses. It's just probably too much emphasis on batting and bowling, not so much on fielding.
Okay. It's also strange. There's so many strange things about this game. Delhi have gone at 7.65 at the end of the innings there. Poor old Mitchell Starks, 3 overs, 1 for 43, going at 14.33.
Yeah, he got it wrong with the new ball. It's just wayward. There's quite a few balls that, there's full tosses with the new ball, which you're not used to seeing. So there's no consistency to his bowling. It's like he's missing his marks by quite a long way, and it's been that way right throughout the IPL so far. And coming into the tournament, he hadn't played a lot of T20 cricket for a long time. But I think now that he's been up and going, you'd expect him to be back near his best. So that should be a bit of a concern, I think, for Kolkata.
What I felt at the start of the tournament, obviously my Aussie mates will actually, rectify me if I'm wrong. I just felt that there was not enough emphasis on the follow-through. It was like, he was just trying to maybe hold back. It could be to do with not playing so much T20 cricket, or it could be he might be thinking long-term as well, because there's a lot of cricket coming up. So, once at the start, if you're thinking like that, and then suddenly you go for runs, it's pretty hard to come back. So, I don't know. This is what I see from an outsider point of view. But from an Aussie point of view, do you see anything in terms of follow-through, not proper into the ball?
No.
Oh, you're as well qualified as anyone to comment, given your background as a left-arm quick yourself. There's clearly some technical things there, and as you would know, when you're short of form, you hesitate to hit the crease with the same velocity and therefore follow through with the same sort of intent that you would normally do as a fast bowler. And that can come from right at the beginning. That can come with the run-up and the momentum in your run-up, how you hit the crease and how you get through the crease. And you're probably right, he is lacking that intent, which can be confidence as well. When you're short of confidence, you hesitate with, that real sort of release. I made a point to you, Finchy. One thing that, he could have done is get his most trusted person out here for a couple of weeks. Who is that trusted person out here that knows his bowling inside out? Come out, spend 2 weeks with him, just, smooth off those rough edges and get him on track. Not only for this, for his commitment here in the IPL, but also beyond that for the World Cup.
And a confidence thing more than anything as well. Just someone that that you trust 100% with your game. So I know from a batting point of view, you can have the most qualified coaches in the world, but until you've worked with them for long enough, you don't have the confidence to be really vulnerable with them as a player and almost let them in enough. So, yeah, it's a really good point.
Did you have someone like that? Did any of you have that kind of sort of person who used to reach out to when form dipped and ask them to come over and make a difference?
For me, it was Andrew McDonald, now coach of Australia, and Michael Di Venuto. They're two guys that I've worked with Andrew from when I was 16. As a teammate, worked with him right through until the end.
You'd liaise with him even if you were playing at different teams, which had all the other sets.
There was a time in the 2015 World Cup when I was struggling. I got Andrew into the Australian camp before the semi-final, I think it was, just to have a look. And the messaging was still the exact same thing that Michael Di Venuto at the time was telling me, but it was just coming from someone different. And sometimes that's all it is.
In just under 2 months' time, on the 24th of June, Australia and India will play in St. Lucia. Can Stark please carry on this form till then, at least for that game? It would only seem right. Unless he's going to come bowling a rocket.
Let me tell you that. He'll have a better follow-through. He'll have much more into the pitch. I can guarantee.
And probably be a must-win game for India. They have to win to go through to the semis.
And he takes 3 wickets in the power play.
Oh, God. I could see it happening. Anyway. All right, let's talk about things that did work for KKR, though. And very good from Varun Chakrabarti, 3 for 16, who's been hot and cold. We've not seen spin have as much of an impact right through the tournament. But Chakravarti is someone we don't even discuss. Even if he has a good performance, we don't say, oh, Chakravarti for the World Cup. It's almost like his time has come and gone, but he's still a valuable player.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what they were missing, especially Kolkata.
Yeah.
Look, you would expect at some stage Major Stark will come back into the action and, deliver for KKR. But what Sunil Narayan needed, someone to step up, is definitely on the other end is Varun Chakravarti. If he keeps picking a wicket, that makes KKR a serious contender.
Yeah.
Because the worry was for KKR, not their batting, it's their bowling. Bowling coming together with the fast bowling. Now they have quite a good mix of Harshit Rana, Vaibhav Arora.
Yep.
These guys are coming up. But if Varun Chakravarti performs and the confidence is up, that makes them pretty strong.
Yeah, two domestic seamers together also look good, don't they? Arora and Rana between them, again, 2 for 29, 2 for 28. They left Arora out last game. This is the better makeup for KKR?
Yeah, he's had a good comeback, hasn't he? 2 for 29. So that will please them from a selection standpoint. But there's nothing better than having your domestic quicks step up and perform. It just takes so much pressure off the balance of your bowling attack, and you can carry, a poor day for Mitchell Stark when you have that. And, particularly when, it hasn't happened today, but when the ball's flying around, it's nice to have those options and that depth.
Stark to Fraser McGurk very quickly, though. Was that just, okay, that's how he'll play, he'll get out, or was there a plan that you saw?
He tried Yorkers first up, didn't he? And I think someone who holds the bat up really high can be susceptible to that early on. And we spoke before today, and I said go wide and be prepared to change your pace quite a bit to Fraser McGurk. Whereas today, worked for Stark, went around the park a little bit, but got that big wicket. I think it was his second over, so that was important.
I honestly don't feel like talking about this innings anymore. So let's just straight go to the chase. Unless I should be careful whether we've almost assumed that KKR are just going to chase this easily.
Oh, anything can happen. I think they're chasing easily, but anything can happen. Kuldeep Yadav's bowling will be very important. How Akshar Patel, can they use him in the power play if Sunil Narayan gets out early?
Right.
They should.
Anyone else going for anything other than a Kolkata straightforward win?
12.3 overs.
KKR all out or chasing?
Chasing.
Okay. Yeah, Tom?
It's going to be hard to see KKR making a mess of this, particularly with the depth of their batting.
Yeah, our impact zone will all take a hit as a result of this slightly unexpected game. But you pick Rasik Salam, and Rasik, of course, this is a nice comeback story for Rasik, who's had a tough time in recent years. What can you tell us about Rasik?
Rasik, I saw him first when I was actually mentor for Jammu Kashmir. And I remember he came in the camp where 75 kids were there. And I saw his 2 balls. When he bowled 2 balls, 1 Yorker and 1 slightly short delivery. And then I said, okay, go on the side and wait. He started walking. Walking. And I said, hey, I didn't tell you to go anywhere. He said, no, I thought you said stay there. That means, this is the story which is happening with me for last few years now, because I come in the camp, especially for the under 19 and the 16. They see my 2 or 3 deliveries and they say, go. I thought it's the same thing. I said, no, just wait down. What I did after that, I actually got him into the squad of senior guys. He was there for under 19 guys. I got him for 30 probables. He played few matches. He bowled a Yorker and he got a hat-trick as well in that. So I had that video recording in my hand. I was actually flying in Mumbai. I was actually in transit, so I was at the Mumbai lounge. I met Rahul Sanghvi there. Rahul Sanghvi, we were just talking about, how the trials are coming up and all. So I said, okay, I have a video. I want to show you a young guy. Just have a look. So he saw the video. He's like, okay, he looks interesting. I'll call him for trials. Come to Vijay Hazare Trophy. There was a gap in between. After that, he said, okay, Irfan, can you send that guy, please? He went to the trials. T.A. Shekhar was there with the Mumbai Indians at that time. Rohit Sharma and Zach. All 3 of them liked him. As soon as he bowled Yorker. He could swing the ball. Actually, right now, he's actually bowling in the middle phases, but he's actually a very good new ball bowler because he could swing the ball. Yep. It's pretty much like young Yubhuvi, who can actually swing the ball both ways.
I don't want to face him then.
Yeah,
I still have nightmares about Bhuvi.
Yeah, and then obviously he got picked in Mumbai Indians squad that pretty season. Unfortunately, 2 years he missed out.
Yes.
And when he was with KKR, he had a tough injury, especially with his back. He was struggling, and even quite a few outstanding physio from the international standard in KKR couldn't pick it up. Luckily, we sent him to Ashish Kaushik, who is actually Indian physio as well. For last 6 months, he was working with him with Ashish Kaushik in one of his clinic. And then, he had a decent domestic season. And now, finally, when he started to do well, it's make, people around him really happy and pleased. And, he's doing justice to his talent because he's got one of the best back of the end slow one after Mohit Sharma in the competition. He bowls pretty well and he's got decent Yorker as well. And we saw that, because people are waiting in Mumbai game.
Yes.
People were waiting for his slow one and they were missing his full tosses. So that's the kind of slow one he has. So it's good to see him, performing back, and I hope he stays fit.
Yeah, it would have been even sweeter for him to have that performance in the last game against Mumbai Indians, his former side. If you meet Rahul Sangvi again, do you have any more Indian bowler videos you can show him? I'm sure he'd be interested.
100%. I love to actually push, even if I'm not working with those guys, I love to push their names.
They need some bowling. Anyway, as of now, Phil Salt and Narayan are making Finch's prediction look pretty good. 12.3 overs, says Aaron Finch. Tom Moody, you said this game will be done in?
Yeah, I think 14.4.
I see. Irfan?
Overs?
Yeah, when will it be done? Unless you're saying Delhi to defend this somehow.
16 overs.
16 overs.
So we're allowed that over.
Yeah.
15th over, 16th over, and 13th over.
It'll be done inside 10 overs.
What?
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
They're 14 off 3 balls.
Yeah. I'm going by the current run rate. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Let's pick up the chat at the end of this game, where KKR would have loved to not only get the job done, but also just keep working on that healthy net run rate. Or can Delhi give us a surprise or two? Could we get another thrill of a different kind at the Eden Gardens? Post-match analysis on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL. Download the mobile app if you haven't already. Have you covered with the fastest scores and so much more, as we look forward to your company at the end of the game.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.